to the very first episode of the Horror Kiwi podcast. I'm Mike, and with me today I have my co-host,
Rudy, horror aficionado and, like Mike, lover of all things that scare the shit out of us.
And joining us today we have a very special guest, Gamespot's own Mary Kish. Hey Mary, what's up?
Hey guys. Yeah, I make features about video games on Gamespot, and I also enjoy all the things that scare me.
Cool. This week we watched, not movies per se, but we watched the anime Paranoia Agent, and then a bunch of random shorts I found on YouTube.
That was a lot. It was a lot of content to get. It was a good way to start our October.
Yeah, it was a lot more difficult than I originally thought when I proposed this.
It was a good curating on the shorts. They were pretty good choices. It was a lot better than either of the ABCs of Death movies, so with that.
Yeah, some of them weren't great though, I thought.
It's always a gamble when you watch shorts like that because they're not made by super professionals. A lot of these are made by a team of people like you or I who just get really excited about making something scary. And when you get that passion, you either get something that's truly innovative and really interesting, or you just get like a blown out wad of crap that's 9 minutes long and should not have been that long.
Yeah, there was at least one in there. I'm like, this looks like something that came out of my high school film class.
Yeah, there's a few like that.
Yeah. So I guess let's talk about the shorts first, because I know, Rudy, you couldn't bring yourself to get through all of Paranoia Agent, right?
Yeah, you guys can get on me later, but there's a whole thing. I have a personal issue with anime, and I'm not the biggest anime fan. So if you guys are proud, accomplished devourers of anime, sorry about that. Sorry to listeners. It's my own personal bias against it. So even the good ones, I have trouble with. I've only made it halfway through Cowboy Bebop.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Yeah, shame on me. I'm gonna go sit in the corner and think about what I've done.
You haven't been made
what
to
I
watch...
haven't done.
You haven't been made to watch Summer Wars either?
I watched Summer Wars, but that's a movie, and that doesn't really
I mean, it's still
it's
anime.
Yeah. I mean, Akira is my favorite, one of my favorite movies.
Well, that's good at least. That's validating that you're human. But a lot of these animes, they're leading up to a conclusion episode. I mean, both of the ones that you just said don't have a lot of value without their ending episodes. So if you're missing that, you're essentially you have no idea what you're watching until that part, because it kind of sums everything up and rounds it all out.
Yeah, especially Paranoia.
There's some serious spoilers we're gonna probably have to get into.
You said you stopped at episode 5 because that's where things go real batshit, dude.
I went through episode 6.
That's when it really ramps up, man. Damn it.
Then when I'm okay, time for the crazy train to get going here.
All right, well, let's go with something that I'll be honest with you, I'll take some blame on this one. There were, I think, maybe 2 shorts that I skipped ahead because I was like, this is stupid. And it was so...
Do not blame you for that. That's totally acceptable.
There's 25 of them. And some of them are 3 minutes long, and they're excellent. And I recommend them. Lights Out, I recommend it. It's great. So good. It's 3 minutes long. You can get through that. 9 minutes long of bad acting. Get out of here. Go away. Get out. I skipped it.
That fucking slow motion one.
That took forever. That was endless. It's true to its title.
Yeah.
That guy thought he was Scorsese.
That was awful. But yeah, Lights Out was great.
Scared the shit out of me. So thank you for that, Mike, for the list, because it did keep me up at night. And I was couldn't shet my pants several times. Not 25 times, but pretty close. Yeah, Lights Out was terrifying to me. It's as simple as it is, just the dark and then the figure appearing there when the lights go. I was yeah.
I felt like there was a good bit of tension before they actually showed the thing. There were a bunch of times where it felt like they were going to show it, and they did a good job in holding off on the money shot there. Yeah,
there's a lot of good tactics that this group uses, and they were a winner of a few awards. You can see a lot of what they did. They focused a lot on the main woman character who has great facial expressions, and they really zoom in on her because you're not especially getting scared at what's around. You're getting scared for her because you can see it on her face. You can see how frightened she's getting, and they, she's actually a really good actress in that sense, so you can just feel her fear. But yeah, they had a really good job with timing. There's like this part in the hallway where you only see like an outline of something and it scares you, and that's awesome that they were able to do that without showing anything. That was just little visual tricks, and they scare you. I think that's great.
I thought this one was a lot better than the other one with her in that same awful hallway.
Oh, right, yeah.
The one with the picture.
That's right.
I mean, it was fine, but it was not as well done, not as effective, I guess.
Yeah, still good with her expressions, though. I think that's the one that has you yelling at your computer, and you're like, don't cover your eyes. What are you doing, you idiot? Get out of there.
I thought her second one was creepy and effective. Yeah. It still unsettled me a whole lot, so I liked hers a lot. I liked I guess her username is Pony Smasher, or maybe that's who uploaded it, but her two films were like standouts to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those were
so it was a good starting off point with Lights Out.
I'm not sure how I felt about the second one, the skin one.
It's well made.
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't. Maybe it's that wasn't traditional horror. It was just really uncomfortable the entire time.
Yeah. This one felt most like a submission of what a short film would be, because it like passes that 10-minute mark.
Yeah.
And it's just like here's my filmy film. Yes, the effect was good. The guy in his skin suit.
It's real good makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's really well made. Really good cinematography as well. It's all done incredibly well, from the shots at night that are really well lit, which is actually pretty hard to do, and the makeup of not just him, but how everywhere he goes, there's footprints of blood. There's blood on her every time he touches her. There's blood on the couch impression. There's, it's unsettling, and I think that those are lasting impressions of horror, that maybe there's no jump scare at the end, so it might not be this standard horror story, but it might stick with you long after. You might see someone later on who like pulls up on their skin, and it'll make you shudder because you remember this super creepy story. So to me, it still embodies what horror does, which is give you lasting, unsettling feelings about the world. So I really liked it. I thought it was a little long, but I understand what they were going with it, and I liked it. I would recommend this one as well.
Yeah, I thought it was effective in that it makes you wonder, like, what's up with this world? That this is treated like a thing that some people do, or is possible in general.
Yeah, but isn't that like a lot of short films, though, that they always just like, there's this super fantasy element in it, and it's just taken for normal, and that's part of the appeal of the short film.
But it's like, it made me want to know more about why this is a thing that can happen.
Yeah, there's a scene where he says he's getting less clients, and that's really weird, because if I was his client, I would be like, dude, you have no skin, like, go to a doctor. But they're just not working with him because he makes them uncomfortable. So instead of a standard world where people will be like really, really upset about it, they're just maybe shying away from him or something. So it's a sedate world, much more sedate than our world, where if you were walking around without skin, it would cause panic amongst the people.
But yeah, the most impressive part was the muscle makeup for me. Rudy knows that I've been watching Face Off on Sci-Fi quite a bit, and a lot of the time you see people on that try and do muscle, and they come out looking like a Dragon Ball alien or something instead of somebody with exposed muscle. It's all pink and weird and not good looking. So it feels like it's really hard to do a good musculature makeup, and they pulled it off very, very well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, so that's that. Well made, good makeup. You're kind of a little detached from it, but it was still good. At least the 10 minutes on this one flew by, unlike, I think, a few of the others.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, are we going to go through them, or do you guys want to just say, like, you're the best and the worst? Or...
Oh, well, I guess I didn't mention the main conceit of this at the beginning. Usually, when we don't have, like, 30 things, we try and rank them.
Okay.
Kind of like maybe like Game of the Year style type thing. But since we have a bunch of things, I'm thinking that we try and pick a best 4, and then also wherever Paranoia Agent fits in with those 4.
Okay.
That sounds reasonable?
Yeah, that sounds good.
You can do it.
Do you already know your 4 off the top of your head?
I'm not sure. I know a couple that I really liked, but what did you guys think of the Smiling Man one?
I was shockingly creeped out by it. Like the part in the middle when he starts like lurching forward, like when he's like throwing his arms back and forth. I was like, that's creepy. This is disturbing.
Yeah, it is unsettling.
I don't like this.
To me, it almost felt copied verbatim from something I'd seen before. I wonder like when it was made, because there's a Korean webcomic that is that story, which is pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's hard to tell you guys the name of it because it's in Korean, so I don't really actually know, like what the name is, but it's a comic, so it's not a video, and it's a super...
Is it the one where the panels kind of move?
Yes, it is. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Okay, I think I've
And there's
seen that.
audio.
Okay.
But you don't know that when you're watching the comic, so it will 100% make you jump. But it's a very similar story of kind of like, it looks like the guy might be either really drunk or have like a battered leg or something. He's injured. And so at first you might even have a laugh reaction, like, oh man, look at this drunk guy. But then it's immediately unsettling. And yeah, like that comic to me was one of the most successful, scary comics. And, you know, like the Smiling Man reminded me of it, which is why I liked it. But to me, the comic's like best. Like, you can't beat that. If you're gonna try to mimic something, you have to do it better. Like, that comic is like amazing.
Yeah, I vaguely remember. I'm pretty sure it did scare the shit out of me.
I have a link to it. We should like upload it in case anyone wants to see it. It will scare you. It's just so creepy.
Go ahead. I'll put it up in the YouTube description and the notes on whatever podcast services this is on.
About that comic, it was really good because I've seen it, and when like the thingy, the animation sort of like crawls towards you. I remember that. I'm not sure if it's the same one, but I know there's several types of comics like that out there. But there's a thing about like these shorts, and just speaking generally about, is there a difference between scaring and startling? And that's what a jump scare is, because I hate jump scares because they're cheap, but I guess we're cool with them as long as they're good. And in most of these short films, the jump scares were good, and they didn't feel cheap.
Although some of them did feel like a flash video screamer. I'm like, it would have been a lot better without that little thing, dude.
Yeah, I think the one that felt most like a student film was Behind the Door.
Yeah.
With like the cool teenager and his dead brother, and just like the way he was dressed, the makeup, and then the sub Pazuzu makeup on the thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's like
I completely agree with you. I was not into that at all. It was not successful to me in any way. And that a lot is the production value. It's poorly made, and that sucks you right out. And then you can't just have a scary face at the end and say like, I got you. I felt the same thing with like the Peekers one with the old man. That's like right after it in that list. That one is like, so it looks like it was made in the 80s. Like the camera work is just so bad.
Yeah. It looked like a public access show.
And the acting of that old man is just like, oh, get out of here. And like all the lines, the dialogue is shit. Like, don't watch this. It's long. How long is Peekers? Tell me it's not like 9 minutes long. I was like, get out of here.
It
wasn't that
8
long.
minutes and 19 seconds.
Oh, was it really?
That is too long. That video should have been a minute tops. In fact, it shouldn't exist. But if it did, it should be like 60 seconds tops. It's way too long.
I thought that one was kind of funny, in that it was pretty public accessy. Like, this is a thing that you wake up when your TV's still on. You're like, what the fuck am I watching, guys? What is this?
Yep.
It was pretty what the fuck.
Yeah.
I thought the old lady just peeking around the corner was creepy as shit. Like I just liked it in the middle of Peekers that they have like this long expositional back and forth about like why it's supposed to be scary. So they're just like explaining to us like why, like she's gone, she's in like all this unnecessary detail bullshit. But I wasn't as hard on Peekers as you were, Mary. It looked like shit, but I thought the old smiling lady was creepy as fuck.
It had charm, I thought.
The dialogue, like, I don't know, I can't forgive certain writing, just like constantly, come play with me. Oh, shut up. Like, get out of here.
We got it the first time.
Totally on board. One that I thought was fairly successful was Mama, which was...
Oh, that was great.
Amazingly had...
Yeah, that was good.
an intro from Guillermo del Toro, which is like insane. So you already win me over because he liked it so much that he's gonna make a full-length feature out of it. So I was already pretty hyped. But they did a tremendous job with the special effects in it. I'm actually not entirely sure how they did everything, which is always great when you're introducing new techniques and nobody really knows exactly how you might have done something. They did an excellent job scaring me in a very short amount of time. Is good length, 3 minutes-ish. Just about two little girls that are, I don't know, afraid of their mom, I think. It's pretty frightening.
Did you watch the full movie of Mama, Mary?
I did not. I have not seen Mama. Makes me want to see it, though.
Seek it out. Do watch it. It's pretty good. It's one of the better horror movies to come out like the last few years. I think it came out 2013, the same year as The Conjuring. So it was an okay year for like big studio mainstream horror movies. Sweet. And Mama was definitely a highlight, just like it was in the short film.
Yeah, it kind of made me want to check it out. It's interesting, it was obviously done on a different set of budget with different crew and stuff, but it was good enough where I am now curious to see the full thing.
Yeah, it makes me really want to watch it too.
You haven't seen Mama?
No, I've told you that.
I forgot that. It totally escaped my head. Watch it. I liked Mama a lot. It would be also in my top 4 for this list. The creature effect, the monster effect in Mama, I think is actually done more effectively in the short film than it is in the full film.
No way.
Which is unfortunate.
That's interesting.
Strangely enough, it is. It's like how Colossus got worse as an effect throughout each X-Men movie. It's exactly like that.
Overproduced, over CG'd or something, where they just put too much emphasis on computer graphics.
Yeah, just unconvincing CG.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's something really beautiful about maybe making it a real person, using some kind of wind effect on the hair, and then maybe using graphics for the facial expressions or for the movement. All that mixed together to me was like...
Yeah, it was really, really fun.
It's very good. There's a really nice uncanny valley that they bring you to where it feels human, but it's just slightly not human enough, which really makes... It hits me. It's quite scary. Speaking of Guillermo del Toro, did you guys... I saw The Martian this week because it came out, and there was a trailer for Crimson Peak, which is his new movie, and it looks pretty scary.
I want to see it pretty bad.
I'm so looking forward to it. I'm going to watch it in IMAX when it comes out. I watched Pacific Rim in IMAX, and so that's like any Del Toro movie that comes out, I'm going to watch in IMAX. He had a Q&A for one of his more serious like foreign films, which is The Devil's Backbone, and that was in San Francisco, and I went to that, and that was really cool. And he showed like some like a kind of longer extended trailer of Crimson Peak there, so just super stoked for it.
Yeah, it looks like wild. It looks on the far end of the CG. It looks like most of it is just really, really just overdone and in the most wonderful way, where every shot is just covered in, it's saturated to the fullest. It's so colorful and everything looks like a sci-fi area. The entire rooms are just completely decorated to the T. It looks like he got everything he wanted out of like every shot, and I'm blown away. I'm interested to see what they do with it and if it's as good as I think it will be. But it looks really cool. I was really impressed by the trailer, so now I want to see it.
Yeah, if nothing else, he is a master of visuals, because we've talked about him before.
Yeah, the production design does look awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's great at creature design, so at the very least that ghost or whatever it is going to be pretty fucked up and great.
Let's see, I was pretty ambivalent about The Little Witch. It was the shortest one, so maybe I also like it just because of that.
It was not the shortest one.
No?
Was it not the shortest one? No, Jack was the shortest one.
Jack was like 20 seconds long.
Jack was cool too. I thought that one was wild. I like the short ones, but what did you think about The Little Witch?
I don't know how I feel about it.
I can't tell if it's too subtle for its own good, but I like that. I like that ambiguity because it, leaves it up to your imagination to be like creeped out by your own imagination, I guess. Mm-hmm. And that's why a few of the Paranormal Activity movies are effective. So, somewhat similar. I was kind of surprised we didn't see any found footage short films or like POV short films in here. What happened?
I don't know.
What's up?
I didn't make this list. I found this list online. Whoever made this list clearly doesn't care for found footage or couldn't find any good ones or ones they perceived as good.
Yeah, it's been like 6 years. We're kind of past it now, I think.
A little bit.
Even though I'm a sucker for it.
I love found footage. That's why we have found footage week next week.
Exactly.
I liked the Alma one, the Pixar-y looking one.
It was a little goosebumpsy for me.
But I enjoyed Goosebumps as a child.
We all did, but it doesn't really hold up.
Yeah.
And they Jack Blacked it. So there's that happening.
I think Alma was very like expected, even on a kid level.
Mm-hmm.
I think the second you see the doll, you're like, well, don't go in there. It's pretty obvious, but maybe to children, and because it's so well done, it's really entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I thought the visuals were nice.
Definitely.
Especially compared to the animated one at the very end that I did not like at all.
Let's not even discuss that, because that's not good.
No,
was the animation bad? What was wrong with that one?
Everything was wrong with it.
Yeah. I didn't care for that one even slightly.
That's like the ultimate student project. It's just not well written, not well acted, not well animated. It's nothing. It's like somebody who is learning, and it shouldn't be in a list.
Yeah. But tangent that Goosebumps movie, it has a giant praying mantis in it. So that's one thing going for it.
There you go. That's
right in the trailer.
Like, that's what you go for.
Praying mantis watch update. It's in the Goosebumps trailer. One praying mantis in a horror movie.
Citing one.
2015 best year for horror movies. Praying mantis.
We'll keep a running tally of giant praying mantises in horror movies.
Alright, I'll put in a vote for Alexia. I thought that one was well done. I thought the makeup was creepy as shit. The blurred, pixelated pictures. Basically, the most effective Facebook horror movie. Probably better than Unfriended. Granted, I've not watched Unfriended, so I have no idea how that turned out.
I've heard people really like Unfriended, and people really dislike Unfriended. I have not heard a single piece of middle ground for that movie.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I couldn't speak on it. I do think that this was good for the topic. It was well shot. Did a really good job with close-ups of the mouse and what you're viewing, and then kind of building tension over time. So maybe this is really what Unfriended and most of these should be, is a nice short. A lot of these just genuinely do better as a short because there's not enough substance to hold a 2-hour movie. Like that's a long time to have one topic, like one thing that's supposed to scare you for a really long time. But like a nice short, all you have to do is one concept is good enough for that amount of time.
Yeah, because most of the time, even if it's like a 90-minute horror film like The Gallows, it's just padded out with cheap, shitty jump scares. And then it had this problem with The Strangers where like eventually it becomes so long that you're just watching people run around in the dark, and that gets boring. Like, I lost interest. I don't care. I guess I have ADD, but like, what? This is fucking boring as shit.
I almost kind of wish they would start playing short movies before like feature-length ones, just so people are encouraged to do these more instead of padding their idea out to be a feature-length movie that gets released.
Yeah, if they just like the Disney movies, if certain horror films opened up with like a decent short, it would be a good primer for the audience to get in, because I notice most of the time if you watch like a horror movie with a packed audience, it's annoying as shit. Like everyone's ready to fucking giggle and laugh. And I know that's like a release of tension, but tends to be overdone. I think the best audience experience I've had was with The Conjuring. So that was good. That's an effective like crowd horror pleaser. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, like people just don't know how to properly react to a horror movie. So it's going to be interesting to see how general audience receives Crimson Peak, because I don't think it'll be like a straightforward Conjuring type horror
it looks
movie.
like it'll be visually entertaining as well as scary, so maybe it will do well. I think I completely understand what you're saying. I can't tell you many times I don't really see scary movies in theaters anymore, because to me one of the scariest elements of a horror movie is the feeling that I am in the moment. It has to trick me into thinking that I am there. That's what's so scary about it, right? Whatever is happening to that lead character is in a way happening to me. And if someone near me screams or makes a noise, I am now in a movie theater and I am no longer scared. So you've taken that from me. One of the best experiences as a child I remember wasn't that young, but I was seeing The Ring. and I saw it in a bedroom with my two sisters. So we were all scared, and we were all just getting into it. You know, and like when the big break happens, you know, and she like comes through TV, all me and my sisters like crawled to the very back of the bed, and we're like, no, 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 no. And that's so good because we all broke it together at the same time. If somebody would have screamed earlier than that, I probably wouldn't have freaked out like I did. I think small groups of people in a living room with like some popcorn or whatever is the best environment to seeing a scary movie because you're like in it together.
Yeah, that was like one of my favorite parts of being in college. I'd have like a horror night like every month at one point, and it was a good time. I can't elaborate more on it in a listenable manner. So I think I might be alone in this one, but I really liked he dies at the end.
That one was tense. I liked the goofy creature thing at the end.
Okay.
I wouldn't put it top 4, but it was good. I liked it quite a bit too. It did build. It was creepy throughout. Maybe the payoff wasn't what I was expecting.
No, that's why I loved it.
But it was like appreciated.
I started laughing real hard at the end.
Yeah, that was one of those punchline ones.
Yeah.
And again, even the worst one in here, whether it's Behind the Door, Peekers, or the last animated one, are still better than maybe even the best short film in either of the ABCs of Death movie. So again, I'll put it that I just keep knocking those ABCs of Death because this is what I expected. I expected, you know, what was it, the 25, 26 short films to scare the shit out of me, and most of them were shitty, lame comedies. Yeah, I enjoyed the creepypasta one. I haven't read a lot of creepypastas.
Which one was the creepypasta one? The next one?
White with Red.
Oh, that
the
one?
Red Eyes one.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too.
I like there's no jump scares. I like that when you look through the keyhole, the ghost, the creature was in the far back of the room, and it was like mostly subtle about it. Yeah. That I was like, yeah, I'm with this. This is good. That was creepy as shit. So I'm gonna look in the corner of my room for fucking brides opening their mouth and.
Yeah, it was like a campfire ghost story almost.
Yeah, I agree. Just enough. It didn't need a jump scare. It didn't need a creepy costume person. It just subtly put something in the back of your brain that sticks with you, and that to me is successful horror. So I was happy with it, and the acting wasn't too bad, and the cinematography was really well done. So yeah, I was also pretty happy with that.
I think it was also a pretty good adaptation of what a creepypasta is like, because they're all just kind of ridiculous, and then they all have that type of like, ooh, goosebumps ending, but this one pulled it off for me.
Yeah. Most creepypastas are ambiguous, right? Like the scariest part about them is how you interpret them, or what you come up with on your own time, because there's nothing scarier than the recesses of your own mind. You know, what's scary to me might not be horrifying to you. So if they leave it up to interpretation, we all get what is so absolutely terrifying out of it because we make it on our own. So that's really well done about that. You know, you don't really know exactly what's in there, and now you get to make it scary.
So in contrast to that, I'm conflicted about Red Balloon because I feel like it was good in concept, but they tried to explain everything way too much, especially at the very end there.
Yeah, those cutbacks, those like flashback cuts, totally unnecessary. And then it had like the Finchery like show off shots with like going through the vase and then outside, then back through the window.
I mean, one of them might have been okay, but it kept doing it over and over. It kind of.
Yeah, it was overdone for me. I didn't like it. I wouldn't recommend it. It's
also almost 13 minutes long, so it's like the longest one.
Yep, could have been good. They blew it out. They tried to Scorsese it. They don't know what it's not good enough to be that long. It is not. That could have been a good 2 minutes.
Yeah, especially for what's basically just a short form slasher movie that we've all seen before. I mean, the bunny suit looked cool, and it had some tense, creepy moments, but then the length and CG and bad cutaways kind of killed it.
You know what that bunny suit reminded me of?
Velveteen Rabbit?
No, it reminded me of Cronenberg's serial killer costume in Nightbreed.
Oh yeah, with the button and everything. The button eyes.
Yeah.
Hey.
The hand knit is scary. The little buttons. Soulless button eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The little crosses of the
best part of Nightbreed was the best part of this
That
short
mask.
too.
Would that mask have been improved with bunny ears?
Maybe. Might have improved Nightbreed.
Yeah, could have. The Daywalt ones was good. I mean, I liked most of them, but then I realized that, like, not a vast majority of these short films, but it's just like, we love creepy contacts.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's wearing creepy zombie contacts. Which is like, okay, but then, like, you know, Walking Dead and stuff, and it's just like, yeah, maybe creepy contacts are over. They can be used effectively, but that's all I see, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, people are, you know, walking around on Halloween with those creepy contacts, and it's just sort of like seeing maybe so many short films with them that I was just like, yeah, I'm done with the, like, piercing white contacts.
Like the closet,
like the closet one?
The contacts are all it had going for it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was not... I don't know, like... I understand that when you watch something like this, you come to terms with the fact that it's not going to be very realistic, right? That you separate yourself from the world of reality and you say, I'm going to just experience this and let a lot of things go that, you know, in the real world I'd be like, well, that's not real, that's stupid. But that short, I could not get over how open the closet was. And their heads were like sticking halfway out and they were like, we're gonna get her so good. I was like, at least make it look like you're hiding in there. Like, you guys are halfway out. I can see you. I couldn't get over it for this short. They just didn't commit. Did not commit to the visuals that they were hiding. No, that one wasn't good. But if I could throw out one that I actually did like, because we're talking about contacts and like tropes of costumes, The Whistler did something so unique, and I just think for, you know, the acting is fine. There's nothing terribly amazing or wrong with it. It's fine. I think it's well shot, but there is a part, you know, it's like that last shot where, you know, you expect to see something, right? But it just twists what you would expect. Instead of seeing teeth or like something jump out at you, it's just built so beautifully, and all they end up showing you, this is a spoiler, you guys should turn this off and watch The Whistler if you haven't seen it. But if you...
It's what, like 4 minutes?
It's short. It's beautiful.
6
I'm telling
minutes?
you, shorter the better.
Yeah.
And it's just a really, really well-made prosthetic, I would think, for a hand.
Yeah.
And they've added some really nice feather detailing to it that is so unsettling. I didn't need more than that, and it sold me as a scary short. I was really, really happy with the way they did it, and they had a really good hook at the end, too, which was that she had, like, a feather in her hair. I thought it was awesome. It was really well done.
Yeah. I think that was possibly one of my 2 favorites. I'm between that and the White with Red. My favorite, I think.
I did like what I found most creepy in The Whistler was that quick shot of the like shadow figure coming out of the
cupboard thing
or the closet.
Yeah,
that fucked me up.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go with like Mama and shockingly Lexia as like my favorite ones.
What did you think about the 2 YouTube Spaces ones? The Passing and Dinner.
Dinner too fucking long.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's 7 minutes and it was just so showy, that's the one where I recognized like bad acting, and it seemed so much like a trying so hard to be a movie. It was like, because the thing about the shorts and watching them on the internet, there's something about them that feels, I don't know, like just unsafe, that it does like, I'm watching something that's gonna fucking get me like while I'm watching this, that's behind me. Dinner felt like a showing off short film. This is them trying to like, this is them showing a studio like, we want to make this in a feature length movie. It was just so like contrived and structured that it just felt out of place amongst all the short films.
I kind of wish I would have looked up what was up with that series, because apparently Legendary did stuff with that, and Del Toro did stuff.
Yeah, Dinner was a Legendary one.
Yeah. So is The Passing. And I've been informed by my viewing companion that the main people in both of those are, like, big YouTuber people. So
did not know that.
She was very excited. It's like, I recognize these people. Oh, why are they doing this? What is this thing?
I think they're valid attempts. You know, they're not terribly made. I think you can see the production value in them. I can definitely tell the effort that went into them, and you got to give them credit for the detailing and the set design and the lighting, which it's always, I gotta like tell you, it's so freaking hard to light night scenes. So when it's done well, I'm always happy with that. But yeah, you get some actors who are starting out and you take a gamble, and, bad acting or just subpar acting ruins horror to me. It's about escapism and pretending like you're there. So if I know you're acting, I'm no longer scared. So that kind of happened in both of these, unfortunately. And you just take that risk when you make these films, and you rely so heavily on acting, which The Dinner definitely does. It relies on acting, and they're just not strong enough to me to sell it.
Now, speaking of bad acting, I thought High was very bad. I did not like it at all.
I thought the Ghost Girl looked good. A little too ring-like, a little too, mid-2000s Ghost Girl, but yeah. I thought High was fine. I liked the elevator shots, and I liked that every time that the Ghost Girl appeared, it was that weird, like, saw-like stinking sound, even though that was kind of, like, goofy.
Yeah, I thought
I was totally fine with it.
I thought there were way too many stock sounds, like, being used constantly in that.
Yeah, I've noticed that with a lot of these. The sound effect dude, got really excited on some of these. Super loud sound effects. Unnecessary. There was this also time with, speaking of acting in High, where the whole point of High, too, is, embodied in the fridge. It says High on the fridge. And, if that happened to me, right? If, the fridge said Hi to me and scared me, I would be like, go away! And I would freak out, and I would, rip the shit off the door, and I would, run or something. And this girl, whoever played this girl, just casually goes up to the door and, wipes them off.
Yeah, just like a message I did not want to see. Go away. It was
this.
And then opens her fridge, but nothing but water bottles and a single bottle of vodka in it.
I did not notice that. And one of the better door reveals. Again, door reveals are also pretty common, pretty expected, pretty cheap. But I was fine with it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, no, it was fine.
The elevator scene didn't do much for me because I was basically taken whole cloth from Ju-on. Straight up, 100%.
Was it?
Yeah.
Of which I have not seen.
Oh, well, you'll see that, and you'll be like, oh, well.
I know all elevator scenes are stealing from this.
I mean, it could have been from something else, but it's not original, at the very least. It's been done before, and better.
Can we talk about There Are Monsters? Because it was what is going on there?
Yeah.
Let's not. Let's just pretend this never existed.
But the cut of the little girl running into the glass door I thought was good. And then after that, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? That was also, public access level.
Yeah.
There are things I liked about it. Again, the script felt like it was a high school script or some bad spec script. But up through the convenience store, I was with it. And then after that, it lost me.
10 minutes long of my life. No.
I think that was very toothy is what kept me into it.
Toothy?
There are a lot of teeth. Big teeth.
You're into teeth?
Lots of teeth are unsettling. Why
didn't you like the last animated one?
Because it wasn't good.
It had teeth. Good. For some reason I thought it was okay. I was primed to hate it, and I was like, yeah, this is fine. It was very like a failed student project, and a little too flash animation but I was, I figured it took a lot of hard work, and I don't know, I was kind of okay with it.
With There Are Monsters, though, the one thing I was thinking through the whole thing was, man, I didn't know Canadians swear this much. Jeez.
Was it Canadians or was it in Nova Scotia?
Nova Scotia's in Canada.
Oh, fuck, I'm an idiot.
Now we've learned.
But yeah, that guy was just cussing constantly.
Yeah, it was to me that it was an attempt to make it scarier than it was. I don't know. I didn't like anything about it. I can't lie. I can't try to find something good about it. The whole thing felt so overdone, but it had nothing going for it. Not even the toothiness of it. I get that is scary once when you do it subtly. Towards the end of it, they must have done it 15 times. It's not scary anymore.
Real bad.
It's not scary anymore. I've already seen it. You've done nothing. You're just zooming in on mouths now. I don't care. I think I started skipping on that one. Just skipping the video because I refused for it to eat any more of my time. No, I can't recommend it. That one sucks.
Okay.
It's total shit.
Calling it. You guys disagree. That sucks.
I think the only one we haven't talked about is the black hole at this point.
Oh yeah, that one was like it wasn't really a horror movie. I was really surprised it was in this list.
No, it wasn't.
It's good.
Yeah, it was like a Looney Tunes, but live action.
This is like what Wile E. Coyote would be like in human form. He'd be like some lowly shit accountant who hates himself, and he finally gets the opportunity to do something so unique, and he blows it, just completely kills himself.
Yeah. It was good. It was funny. It was
good.
funny.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I don't think it belongs in this list. I think it's great though.
No. I enjoyed the Acme hole a lot.
Yeah, it's good. I would recommend it. It's a nice little escape, and it was a nice. I guess in this list it was a nice mix from jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. All of a sudden it's like this isn't really meant to scare you. It's just meant to make you uncomfortable because you think it could be funny, and it is, right? Like, what's the first thing he does with a hole that can go through anything? He steals a Snickers bar. I think that's honest and funny. It seems like it actually could have been a Snickers ad that just goes horribly wrong.
Yeah.
It's well done and different from the rest on this list. So I guess in that sense, I'm glad I saw it in the list. It was a nice break from everything else that felt so similar.
It's a very good palate cleanser.
Definitely.
So I guess let's try and pick our top 4 here. Let's also maybe try and pick a bottom 1, maybe.
Oh, like the worst? You want a worse list?
Yeah.
I can make that.
Just a list of 1. This is the pits.
The worst. Alright, that's hard, because I didn't probably 7 of them, where I'd be I couldn't possibly recommend them, but...
I almost think the animated one. That's the only one that I was
pretty bad
against the whole time through it.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get the best list. That's what people want to watch. Or want to know about.
Want to hear?
Presumably.
Something... Yeah. Lights Out's great. Good starting off point. Mama, Alexia, and
White with Red, The Whistler.
Mm-hmm. I'm having trouble coming up with the 4th one. I almost want to put He Dies at the End as my 4th, because I like that one so much. It tickled me.
I think it was fine. I don't think it would make my top list. I didn't dislike it.
Yeah.
It was probably wouldn't have made my list, but I can understand that you would like it. I'm not angry with you.
So let's see, we got Lights Out definitely on there. Mama definitely on our collective list. And 3rd and 4th are going to be hard. Whistler, maybe?
The Whistler is 100%. I support it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it.
I do too.
I think it's well done.
Just for the shot of the closet for me. The hand was okay, but the shadow figure coming out of the cabinet fucked me up. So, yeah, I guess,
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think for the 4th one? Jack, maybe? Jack was short and sweet.
Jack was short as shit.
Was
yeah.
super scary. Wait, what do we have again? I got Lights Out, Mama. Did you guys not want White with Red?
Oh, I forgot about White with Red.
Because you guys like that one a lot. I do like Jack too.
Yeah.
Not to sell it out, because I thought that one was rad and it was perfectly made.
I mean, rules aren't set in stone. We can always make it top 5 to make all of them fit.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, mine was my pick was I really liked Alexia quite a bit, way more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm. But
good use of Facebook horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely nothing wrong with it. I think it did most things really well, and it was unsettling. There's just something about short videos that really hit me, like Jack and The Little Witch. I loved The Little Witch because it's just enough of a taste that makes me really creeped out, and they're shareable. They're super easy to send to someone and be like, check this out, because they're 30 seconds long, and they'll fucking scare you. I think it's awesome. I think those are both great.
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty well done.
Cool.
But did we decide on our 4, or do you have contention with one of the pick, Rudy or Mary?
I'm good. I'm already ready to tell you the worst one.
Okay, what's the worst in your opinion here?
Mine's Behind the Door. Behind the Door, the student filmy one of it's just the kid in his awesome leather jacket trying to be all cool and shit, and bad makeup, and the bad acting that just you're not my brother. Even though it was barely 3 minutes, I was not with that one.
Actually, I'm going to change my vote for the worst one, because I just remembered that I completely forgot about it. I think Endless is by far the worst. Now that I'm remembering that exists.
It's absolutely shit. It's beautiful, like, for maybe 10 seconds, I would say, sweet. And then I would not share that with an enemy. I don't want anyone to see it. I agree, it's bad. I could easily make a top 5 worst. Endless deserves to be on it. There Are Monsters deserves to be on it. And Behind the Door deserves to be on it. Let us just concede nobody should watch any of those.
Okay, that works for me.
Yeah, I'll concede. I just think that every horror short film list, like, it's in the ABCs of death as well. There's always one that is completely shot in slow motion. So I was like, oh, this is the slow motion one for this group of short films. So that was fine. The bad CG at the end was the worst part. It didn't.
Oh, so
I didn't
bad.
hate it as much.
The explosion.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, the explosion looked really awful.
Yeah.
so weird. It's like they gave a shit and then they were like, nah, let's go to lunch. Like, I'm tired. Let's just end it. Like, they just gave up. Oh, that one's so bad. I'm glad you remembered how bad that was. So bad.
Yeah, we just kind of wrote that off right at the beginning, and then I kind of went along with that and completely forgot about it until just now.
It's got, like, a lot of views on YouTube. I'm surprised, like, so many people
like slow motion. I think that's what it is.
And it's
People
not
love
ugly.
slow
Like, it
motion.
is pretty.
Yeah.
Like, it's neat.
No.
It's just boring as shit.
Until that explosion.
I think most people left before then, you know? It's like,
I wish I would have.
oh, it's so bad. So bad. Alright.
I guess now let's start talking about Paranoia Agent.
Woo!
I love
Woo!
last time I watched Paranoia Agent before this was when it was airing, so I remembered almost nothing about it. So I had some surprises again going through it.
Definitely. It's something that I watched 2 years ago, and it blew my mind then. And watching it now, I completely forgot how many hints there were at the beginning throughout.
Yeah.
So watching it again, knowing what I know, I was just, like, really surprised with how much they're alluding to things, how much they're dropping hints consistently throughout the piece of what the larger picture of what's going on. It's beautifully made, I think, in terms of, you know, like, this isn't really a jump scare, right? This is a really good example of lingering creepiness that shakes you to your core. This, like, weird, you know, Shannon Bat guy who runs around finding people who are in a corner and essentially smacks them on the head with this bat, and he's, like, laughing or enjoying it. He's got this creepy smile. He just happens to come out of thin air. This scares the shit out of me. Like, what a scary concept that this is. It's really, really good.
Yeah, and the Marmy doll is super fucking creepy too.
Definitely. That is such a good point. Like, Romy is supposed to be this adorable cartoon dog. It's creepy as hell. It's so creepy. Got these wide eyes looking at your soul. If the eyes move based on what's happening, it's fucked.
They're never looking the same way in different shots.
So good. There's so many things you could talk about that this does well, but I think we would be out of this if we didn't mention Satoshi Kon and his direction, because his directing is tremendous. And there is a part, which is why you have to watch the last episode, and you're fucking up.
And episode 8.
You're missing it because there is some tremendous animation towards later on. Satoshi Kon is like, I don't know if you guys have ever watched Every Frame is a Painting. It's like a YouTube channel where he just, like, talks about certain directors, and for the better or for the worse. And Satoshi Kon is one of the greatest directors who ever lived, and he's really, really tremendous. And what he does so well is he prefers to work in animation as opposed to real life, because he can make things happen much faster. Like, for example, you could, like, pickpocket someone in 3 frames, as opposed to in real life that would take maybe 3 seconds for your eyes to catch it. But in animation, you can make things happen so fast, and your eyes will still catch it. It's beautiful. So there's this last episode where there's basically this smoke it's not really explained what it is, but it visually looks like a smoke that's engulfing the city and taking people. And it's so beautifully animated as it is destroying the entire city, and it is engulfing heaps of terrified humans in subway stations and in shops and in their work. It's blowing through building windows, and it's happening so fast. It's so wonderfully directed. It's like one of the best action scenes, but it's in a horror movie. It's so good.
Yeah, it's like Born Identity speed.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I think a lot of I mean, a lot of it obviously goes to Con, but a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of the something for the animation needs to go to the studio, too, because Madhouse, the studio that animated it, they're known for, like, super high-quality animation.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's
What else have
movie.
they done?
They did Redline. I don't know if you've seen that.
Nope. You
look.
know that I don't watch anime.
Redline's a movie. Also, Redline...
An anime movie.
Yeah, Redline owns. You should watch Redline.
I think you have recommended it before. I just haven't got around to it. Because I own Paprika. I own Paprika on Blu-ray. And I've been wanting to watch Perfect Blue for a while.
Perfect Blue's great.
To have not gotten around to
so
it.
good.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's like another one. Like,
it's sitting on my shelf. I just haven't gotten around to seeing
it's
it.
very, very good. And it's also like very obtuse and obscure, right? Like there's a lot of things that you're like, what's totally going on here? You're not always sure. Paprika's way more out there than this movie. So if you're having trouble finishing this, like, good fucking luck with Paprika, because like that one, there's multiple times where I'm like, I have no idea what's going on, but I don't care.
Yeah, that thing's
I
pretty
have
impenetrable.
no problem with that. I think it's with Khan. I'm making an assumption. It's just getting lost in his visuals, because it's the same thing as, like, when I was watching this, I really dug the episodes that I watched, especially I think was it episode 3 with the girl with the split personality?
That one's so
which seems to
good.
be
It's
his
so
thing.
wonderfully told.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, and that was like, I know he did a similar thing in Perfect Blue, of which Black Swan probably took from both of
Definitely.
these. Perfect Blue and this, and it's like, oh, that's his thing. But I was like, have you seen Twin Peaks? Has anyone watched Twin Peaks?
I have not watched Twin Peaks.
Yes.
So is it Satoshi Kon? Just watching it just made it seem like, well, he's a really talented David Lynch of animation.
He's
Mhm.
an innovator.
Where,
He's innovating concepts. Like, you got it. You hit it right on the head. Like, he has created scenes that other directors try to recreate in real life because they're so good. But he is the original creator of them. Because he was out there, man. Like, his transitions, like, in his use of scenes are shockingly good. And Paranoia Agent is out there visually. Like, it's just stunning visually. But it isn't all encompassed with a really nice to somewhat cohesive story. No, it is cohesive. It's like it's a perfect story about this terror, but how it affects people in different ways. It's not really, towards the end of the movie, it's not really about this Shannon Bat anymore. Now it's about the lives that it affects, and you start to realize how it's changing people in different ways based on who they are, based on how they choose for it to affect them. There's like one of my favorite episodes is like, you haven't gotten there yet. It's a group of gossiping women in a...
Yeah.
It's great because it's showing you...
No, that's not episode 8. That's like
9.
It's later on.
10?
It's later on in the
Yeah.
series, and it's really beautiful because now you're seeing how Shannon Bat is who he is, the stories of the people that create him. And this entire episode is about a group of gossiping women, and they're so good. They have like all these catchphrases like, promise you won't say anything? And they're like, of course, like, no, we'll never say anything. We're just a bunch of gossiping women who have nothing better to do. Like, we'll totally keep your secret. And they're like making up these just insane stories of Shannon Bat.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, and breathing life into him. And that's really, it's a really good embodiment of the entire series, right? Is that people are making him the monster that he is because he's an escape, because he gets you away from your problems, because he's interesting. I mean, there's a million things that would make you want to think that he's real. And this episode, without literally saying he's not real, he's in your freaking minds, people, that is what that episode is beautifully representing. And it does it so well. And it's also like just lots of really good stories about how different people interpret this demon, this like super bad guy that's like killing people.
All right. Well, it's because I didn't watch the second half. You guys can spoil it for me. It's fine. I'm totally okay with that. I just wanted to hear your interpretations of what you think the little slugger is supposed to represent, whether it's explained later on and what I didn't watch,
it's
or
explained later on.
It's explained literally.
Yes.
Okay, and you're fine with that explanation of what he is a metaphor for?
Yeah.
I mean, just from the first 5 episodes, not what the literalism is of what it is within the story, but obviously paranoia, like Mary said, he is what these people want him to be. They're whether it's their savior from their problems. I mean, just from the first few episodes, I just took away that it is. I mean, it's called Paranoia Agent. It's just that the paranoia spreads and how this attack affects everyone in the community or in Tokyo. So what is it literally? You can tell me that.
It's basically a living meme. It's basically the Candyman.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, now you're talking my language.
Yeah, it's he's an embodiment of something that we all fear that takes on a physical form. It's like manifested from our own fears, and because of that, which is, you can see the evolution of him. He begins as like small. There's parts where he becomes quite large. There's times when he can morph through walls. There's parts where he grows fangs. He looks like a wolf. And then eventually he just morphs into this, like, pretty much like this weird black goo or whatever, but he takes on various forms based on how people interpret him and how much the fear has grown and spread. It's really symbolic, I think, for the fear of a nation. Like, not only was Shannon Bat terrifying, but was really scary was how the community grew with that fear. Like, their fear made him so much larger than he ever could be.
Mm-hmm. And if you watch, especially in the beginning episodes, when they're not so many stories about him, whenever they say something new about him, in the next episode he'll have that trait. So there's one episode where they said, oh, he has golden eyes, and then the first shot of him in the next episode, he looks up and his eyes are gold.
That's sweet. Dude, there's like so many things I love about this series. I think it's like one of my favorite animes of all time. Like, watching it again has just upped my respect for this series so much. The direction is so good, and the characters, like, you know how wonderful it is for each episode to almost be about a completely different character? You never get bored. They're all related, right? But each episode, you're getting into a new person's life, so you're constantly learning something new. Most of these people are complicated. There's almost no good characters, most of them are kind of shitty in one way or another, and they're giving them a lot of depth and life. There's no good guy in here. There's no good person. Even the guys trying to crack the case, they're complicated. They might have good souls, like in the end and stuff, but they are, they're not perfect beings. They're doing the best they can.
I don't necessarily know that they're all related, considering episode 8 is almost completely standalone, except for one little scene. But episode 8 is also one of my favorites, the suicide one.
Definitely. It's really interconnected, and overall, I was super impressed with one part, and then the next episode, something else weird would happen. There's a huge break in it. You probably know the episode I'm talking about, where all of a sudden everything changes. The entire world gets flipped upside down. I think it's like where they almost...
Are you talking about where the main detective goes into, like, the storybook land, almost?
That's towards the end. I'm talking about where they catch a guy who says he's Shannon Bat, and then all of a sudden, like, they're warped into this cartoon. Well, it's also another world. Okay, so there's 2 times where he gets warped into a world. It's the one that's earlier on, and you're like, all right, this show is not what I think it is.
Yeah.
You mean the Holy Warrior episode? Because the one that, like, almost broke me? Not because... The narrative point A to B doesn't matter with Satoshi Kon, again, because David Lynch, so you just get lost in the visuals. But that episode felt to me like having its cake and eat it too, because is there a thing where every anime show has to have the parody of an anime within the series? And that's what that episode felt like to me. Where they go into basically a parody of an anime show, and he's playing it out for the 2 detectives.
I don't know that he was playing it out so much as it was materializing around them, kind of. That's kind of how the series works after that episode.
Yeah, it starts getting a little bit more of a twist. I do understand the trope that you're talking about, because I've seen that a lot in animes, and that can get pretty old, where all of a sudden, like, you're in itself or something like that. I think that this one is done, if it is done in that way, then it's done quite well, because it's starting to alter your perception of reality, and it does it very slowly, right? So in the beginning, you are in a detective novel, right? At the very beginning, you're like, is this girl telling the truth, or is she lying? And you're torn a little bit. I don't know how you guys felt about that, but there was a part of me that was like, no, I bet you this Shannon bad guy is like out there and he's like actually killing people and no one believes her. And then there's the other side of me that's like, no, yeah, this girl's making it up. She's crazy, and like that's gonna be the twist in the end. Like you can feel it both ways, but at the end of the day, it's a detective show where you're following along and finding the facts. At that point in the series, it is breaking you from your sense of reality, and it's saying, you know what? You have no idea what this is about. And your rules of reality do not apply here. You cannot solve this like a detective in a detective show, because this is not a detective show. This is not what you think it is. And it does that subtly and not literally. And that's what I like about this series. There's nothing that it actually tells the audience straight up, except for like at the very, very end. And I think maybe that's just to confirm without any doubt what actually was happening. But yeah, that part is to like break you. It's to break you mentally and say, okay, this is not a detective show anymore.
Yeah, that's the episode where everything goes completely off the rails.
All right. I have to admit something here. You guys can call me. I feel like I'm a dumbass here. Just like I totally saw that. I mean, at the end of each episode, the credits of the episode is all the characters sleeping around the Memori figure, a giant Memori figure, right? So I always just took everything happening within the show as under dream logic. So any shit that happened, I was just like, there is no objective reality. It's all just this crazy shit. So it didn't break me in this reality way. It just broke me in a pacing, just like, oh, this is just like any other anime series. Even though I know it's not. I totally know it's not fair to say this, because Satoshi Kon, I've got Paprika, I've heard of him. I can't wait to watch Perfect Blue. But just watching the credits and watching a ton of David Lynch movies, that I'm just going under, this is all dream logic, and there is no objective reality in the show. I mean, I got that with episode 3 with the multiple personalities, and how that kept changing around, and the cuts, and how she was blacking out and waking up, you know, not knowing what happened. And that episode, you could also say, is a awesome, a really well done metaphor for addiction and repression. Of which those words, or repression, comes up quite a bit, at least in the first few episodes that I watched. Mm-hmm. So I was, from the get-go, looks like I've been watching it incorrectly.
How do you like miss this but get Akira? Because Akira is like right on the same line of like logic that is out of our world and then in our world.
Yeah.
Well, Akira is like a sci-fi cyberpunk thing, so it has a world to set up. Where this, I guess, going in knowing about a little bit about Satoshi Kon, and then the title of it, and then Mike didn't tell me much about it, but just the way he was excited about it, I was just ready. I'm like, it's I don't know. I just didn't see from the get-go like this objective reality. It was like everything is under this dream logic for me, that I'm just like, well, anything can happen. So when anything did happen, it didn't surprise me.
I think this is meant to be set up as a world that you would believe is real in the beginning, and then slowly dissolve out of that, because it is more of a realistic world than Akira, right? It's not science fiction. It looks like current times ish. You could imagine this being a real place that exists. So when something weird happens, and when I mean something weird, I don't mean like just like the dudes out there, but like all of a sudden you're warped into a world where there's monsters and there's a guy with like a giant sword attacking them, and you're like, all right, now I'm in Pokemon, like something weird happened here. That's disorienting.
You rag on me on this, that like I'm just watching it incorrectly, because I am seeing it as this animated series, as an anime series, so it's an animation, so anything can happen. So again, I guess I didn't believe in the objective world with it, because you're starting off with characters who are already paranoid or disturbed, and already like seeing shit, and they're already fucked up in the head, that, you know, we're going to see their interpretation of the world around them. So things going to get fucked up. So I went with that logic of it, where I guess... I
think it might also help. I mean, this is something that's harder for people over here, I guess. If you look at the Japanese title, it's Moso Dairinin, which literally translates paranoia agent, but the first word can mean either paranoia or delusion. So it's kind of like, as the series goes on, you're getting sucked into the same kind of mindset as the people in the series, kind of forming the same delusions. And that's the way that the series evolves, that you're just going down this rabbit hole within your own head, just like the rest of the people in the series.
Yeah, it sounds like if you are maybe disappointed in the sense where you thought, I already knew that this was going to be a wild series, so I'm waiting for something more outrageous to happen, but it seems quite natural world.
Yeah,
That
that's
does
my
occur more and more, but it's a slow build. So this isn't something that rewards you right away with like crazy animation and just like wild things destroying the city. That's really not what kind of show this is. This is a slow build of a breakdown of people's minds. It's actually, I think, the entire pacing of the show is reflective of someone losing their fucking mind. Because you are watching someone whose reality is pretty functional. It's a girl, she's an animator, she's made a really popular character, she's super introverted, she's, not so much disturbed, but she's not normal. She's got like some issues with communication, probably some weird stuff in her past, but she's like on her own. And then something bad happens to her, and it's starting to break her reality down, starting to break down the way she views the world. This isn't something that happens overnight. This is something that takes a long time. And as it affects people around her, as it starts to affect the community and then the city at large, you start to see it get out of control. And as the story gets out of control, as she mentally starts to break down, you start to see more weird things with the world happening that should not happen. It starts to break down reality, and it starts to break down the world that you see as tangible and functional, something that you could actually see in real life. Now you won't see it anymore. By the last episode, nothing is what it seems. Everything is messed up, and it's completely shattered, but you have to get there in order to see that full circle. Seeing like 3 episodes of this is not giving it due justice. It's like seeing 20 minutes of Akira and saying like, I don't know, I just like don't understand what they were so mad at. It's like, commit and see why there's that anger, because it's explained throughout the piece. You're essentially seeing not a completed story, so it would make sense to me that you wouldn't understand why nothing's happening yet.
I almost feel like it might help a little bit if you just skip some of the openings and endings when you're watching it straight through and just treat it like a movie instead of a series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they had the old man interstitials, I think, between each episode or after the end of each episode, where he kind of says like some obscure stuff about the episode upcoming, and that just reminded me of the log lady from Twin Peaks, and just sort of like this obtuse language. So I was like, yeah, this is just Twin Peaks in animation.
But no, that doesn't sound bad at all. That sounds great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Something wicked this way comes. I actually don't watch those. I don't watch that guy because I don't like the sneaky bits at the end. I like to be surprised when something happens in a series. I hate when they tell you like next week on X, like don't give it away. Like I like to be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't even watch that stuff.
Yeah.
Mary, Mike, have you guys both watched Neon Genesis? I actually haven't. I was just curious.
I've watched about half of Evangelion.
Yes.
So what I know about Neon Genesis is that didn't the creator of that series go through he was going through personal troubles as the series was going along.
Yep.
And then it reflects in about how fucking crazy it gets near the end.
He basically had a complete mental break at the end.
Yeah, and it greatly affects the show, and it gives the show this total like what the fuck is going on. See, and I think that's the difference between, in interpreting how I interpreted Paranoia Agent or something like where I believe if I watched Neon Genesis, it would totally fucking surprise me. Even though I'm expecting it, it's that the creator started out one way, and because of personal issues, it got completely fucking crazy, and you totally are seeing like someone's total breakdown, where this is like Satoshi Kon started out that way. This was his direction. This was his intention, and it's well done. And then, but with Neon Genesis, that's the thing where like that, the way where it goes, and if that would totally fucking shock me. I can't wait to see that as well and see how that plays out. But that's also because like Neon Genesis starts off with this like futuristic giant robots fighting monsters, cyberpunky kind of thing, and then changes because of the creator's mental breakdown, and it reflects in the show in an interesting way. Does that make sense?
I'm trying to like understand exactly what you're saying. Are you saying that it gave it more value, that the dude like kind of freaked out in real life, that put more weight into the series for you?
Yeah, and then again is more like, even though I know about it, is more surprising that when the turns and the crazy shit starts happening within the series.
I think that might be a nice bonus, that you can start to lose yourself in your work, and that will reflect your work, and that's a really nice. I wouldn't say it's nice. It's terrible. It's bad, but
Yeah.
it's really reflective and interesting for us. But I don't think that the artist has to Elliott Smith himself for us to appreciate his work.
Right.
I don't need anyone to go insane for me to understand that they are brilliant. Satoshi Kon is no longer here. He died a few years ago, but his work is consistent with a view of how he perceives the world, and it's all done symbolically, and I think it's subtle on purpose. It doesn't need to be absolutely insane, because the subtleness is what makes it so reflective of you or I think what is so beautiful about Paranoia Agent and the fact that it's done in maybe more of a real time world is that you could almost perceive this happening in our world right now. These are slight visual things that happen to you that make you feel like you're not okay, right? Like you walking to work and you look down an alley and you see someone that you saw die 10 years ago in a horrible accident you tried to repress as a child because it was messed up and it hurt you, and then you see them. That will haunt you for the rest of your life. Satoshi Kon is subtly, that was a bit of a spoiler, he is subtly placing things in the world that are messing with his characters. And you're not really there yet because you might not know the consequences of what people are seeing. But a lot of these characters have done messed up stuff, or they've seen something that have haunted them and now they're breaking down. But it's not as simple as like the entire world is exploding. It's something as simple as that person is dead. Why are they around? Mm. And that is haunting to me. But no, it's not as otherworldly as as like some kind of crazy sci-fi world. It's no, Evangelion.
Yeah.
So it's not as much of a spectacle as that, but I think that it is brilliant in what he is trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm. And I think the subtlety's really highlighted in the suicide episode, the one that's almost completely standalone.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the twist at the end. I went back through that episode to figure out when did this happen.
Right.
And you can tell like really early on exactly when it happened, but it's incredibly subtle.
Dude, it's so good. I'm so glad you brought that up. That's like probably one of the best episodes. It's so good.
That is by far my favorite episode.
Embodies everything. It embodies like the subtlety of the entire series. Like you're missing it. Yeah. Is basically what that episode said to you. It's not like calling you stupid, but it's basically saying you missed it. You've been watching this whole time with your eyes closed. You missed it. It already happened and it passed you by. And the entire series is that. You missed it. We already told you what happened. We already told you in episode 1 what happened, and you missed it because you weren't paying attention. And guess what? That beginning of everyone on their phones talking about their problems and like shit that happened to them, or like I can't make it, I can't bake a cake in 2 hours, like get out of here, all these people like crying about their problems. That is reflective of the viewer, of the person watching the show, because what they're saying is you're missing it. You're so caught up in these other problems, these other things that are happening, that you missed it. You already missed it. We've already shown it to you and you missed it. This is so fucking good.
Jeez, I didn't realize that stuff at the beginning until just now.
It's so good. It all has a meaning. Every one of it. It's all about you missing it. And it's beautifully encapsulated, it's beautifully shown in that one episode, which is why that episode is so wonderful.
And that episode's also great because it's like a really fun episode, but it's the bleakest fucking episode.
Totally. It's funny. It's probably the funniest episode. And it's about 3 people, including a child, trying to kill themselves. What the fuck? It's so good. It's like haunting. It's a terrifying concept that these 3 people like meet online and like, how do we axe ourselves? Like, let's do a poison. Let's like jump in front of a train, and then they see it and they're like, wait, no, that's gross. It's good. It's weird that you would enjoy that episode. It's so strange that I laughed during that episode.
And like episode 5, when they catch the kid, is where it starts to go off the rails. After that episode is where he just flips all the crazy switches to because the episode after that's where the kid is puking up math and everything.
Yeah,
and
that one's so good. See, like, this is when it starts, like, getting out of the realm of normal, right? Like, now it's like, all right, now you're getting really far. That's a really good visual of that show, where he's eating what he's puking up, too. Because he's like, no, I learned that I need those equations in my brain. I worked so hard for them. And he's like vomiting up math and then shoving it back in his mouth. And he's like trapped in a bathroom and you're like really, it's so unsettling. It's so upsetting. It's really beautiful. Oh man, it's so good. Watch Paranoia Agent!
Yeah, you should probably finish it. Skip the openings and endings. Pretend it's a movie.
Yeah, you're
All right.
like, you're ending right when it's getting good. Like, right now is, like, when it starts ramping up and, like, weird stuff starts happening. It's, like, so good. And, like, that's the best part. Because, like, you had 5 episodes of normal. You had 5 episodes that basically explained the world and tricked you. Now you're about to go on a ride. Like, it got you.
And right when it starts going crazy, they start doing weird stuff with the art styles, too.
Totally.
Like the episode we were talking about with the old ladies, like, every one of those little vignettes they tell is in a different art style.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. It's weird. I guess it's more of the getting into their delusion thing, showing what the story looks like in their mind.
In their perspective. Yeah, it's
instead
wild.
of what it looks like in the Satoshi Kon real world.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Fucking beginning to end, it's absolutely beautifully made, and 100% so glad that I got to watch it again. I'm glad you guys talked me into it and like watch this again in Halloween. You know, it's creepy, it's unsettling, it's makes you think about like what if I had like a really messed up thing that happened to me in my past. There's a really good episode with the girl and her father that's not too far in, that is just like she like represses it so hard into her head that she just like doesn't know who anyone is. And like that one will keep you up at night. Like I would think about that and be like, what if I repressed?
That was fucking creepy.
Yeah, that like shook me to my core when I was 5. That I was just like, you know what? Nope, I don't know who I am. None of that happened. I don't know. I can't even remember stuff past being 7 years old. I have like no memories of my childhood. You know, like that kind of stuff freaks you out and like keeps you up at night. That's the kind of stuff where you think like, what happened to me? Like, where's my 3-year-old memory? What have you done?
Mm-hmm.
That shit is breaks your core. Scary stuff. And it's perfect for this time of year. Everyone should watch this series in the fall. It's beautiful. It's great for...
Paranoia Agent's great. I presume, since you're saying Shonen Bat, that you watch it in the Japanese.
I did. I would suggest that everyone do that and read the subtitles, because I do think that it is always, not always, like there are certain ones where they have like really professional actresses and actors doing the dubbing, and I think it's good. Yeah. And I would recommend it. I'm gonna plug Gurren Lagann. That's my favorite anime of all time. It's spectacular. It's the greatest anime in the whole world. And I've seen both, and I've seen the dub version, and it's very good, and it's totally functional. If you don't feel like reading all the time, you know, you can do it. But with Shonen Bat, I would say the sub version is better because you really feel the characters and their emotions. Mm-hmm. Most people would say that when you watch anime. Just read it. And it'll help convey the emotion in the writing a little bit better. I think it helps showcase it a little bit more. And there's only like a few examples I can think of when the dub version is functional. But Gurren Lagann is so good. If you guys have seen it, it's like the best anime.
Gurren Lagann's good.
It's the best. It's 2 seasons.
Do you prefer the series or the 2 movies?
Series is like perfectly sums up everything that you need. It's like got a perfect beginning, middle, and end. And right when you're like, okay, I understand what the series is, it changes it. So it's just like a perfect story, which they had concocted before, you know? So instead of like something that just keeps going and you're like, now I'm bored of it, it's already decided that it's going to change and evolve. It constantly evolves, and then it has a planned ending that sums up the story quite nicely, which I really like. So it's a beautiful, beautiful story, and you can watch the dub version. It's great. So everyone who hasn't seen it, watch Gurren Lagann. So good.
Gurren Lagann's pretty good.
So good.
I liked it quite a bit. I don't know if I'd call it my favorite, but it's real good.
It's really good. Yeah, I don't think that's popular, but I don't care. It's the best.
It's not. A lot of people like it a lot.
So good.
I like it a lot. Going back to what Madhouse has done. They also did Summer Wars,
which I've seen. I watched Summer Wars, liked it a lot.
Summer Wars is great. They did everything Satoshi Kon ever animated, as far as I can tell.
So Paprika, Perfect Blue.
Yep, Millennium Actress, Paranoia Agent. Might be missing Tokyo Godfathers. And there might be something else I'm missing, but it's probably up here. They did the animated Metropolis, which I've heard mixed things about.
Oh, I liked Metropolis.
Yeah, I like it.
I liked it quite a bit. I own that. Yeah.
Apparently, some people don't like it, but it's like
some people really don't like it. I was like, I dug it. I was a fan of Metropolis.
I mean, it's not any more slow paced than the original one, so I don't know.
And maybe it just need I could have watched a whole series of that. Like, I thought that needed to be like 3 hours long. There's an epic in there. It's pretty rough, but I really dug Metropolis.
Yeah, it's called Metropolis.
Yeah. I will say, Paranoia Agent, my favorite opening theme song of any anime.
Yeah, it's real good.
Of the few that I
it's
watched.
so good.
I thought the theme song and the opening is
Dude,
fucking
it's so
fantastic.
good with his laughing
It
people. So weird.
Yeah. God, and just the way, I don't know, it's my favorite, easily my favorite anime theme song. Easily it got me there. Like, just at the opening. I will watch the rest of the series. I'm almost just starting because of that, just because the fucking opening's so good.
Definitely.
So yeah, I'm guessing by how enthused you are about it, Mary, that you put this above any of the short films.
Absolutely. Paranoia Agent is 100% recommended. It's the top thing I did with my life in the last 30 days.
I'd be inclined to say the same thing. I liked it more than I liked any one of the individual shorts.
I'd be a giant jackass if I'd say you don't.
Rudy,
need to
you
watch
have to
this.
abstain.
Obviously,
You.
I abstain. Okay.
So by majority rule, Paranoia Agent is the best thing we watched this week.
All right, and then going through the shorts, do we like number them or do we just put them in the top 5?
We can number them if you want.
I don't know the rules.
Oh, I'm looking at the Paranoia Agent Wikipedia here. The second paragraph is a single sentence. The series and its themes have been compared to those recurrent in the filmography of David Lynch. So there you go, Rudy.
Yeah.
Hey,
This one?
1 point for me. Yay.
Okay, but yeah, we can number them if you want, or we can just leave it that's those 4 that were Lights Out, Mama, White with Red, The Whistler, and then Jack is number 5, I guess.
As a bonus, and it's like literally 30 seconds long, so it's
little piece of candy
it's a
there.
little extra. Yeah, I agree. Those are all. That's right. It's a good list.
Yeah, so watch those things after you watch Paranoia Agent. Paranoia Agent's great, and then go watch everything else Toshiko's done.
I agree. It's a solid list. It's a solid list for your October creepy viewing. Ooh, and it's a nice way to start out the season.
Yeah. Oh, ghost stories. I forgot about that. So the concept of what I was going for here is there's a thing in Japanese horror ghost story type stuff called Hyakumonogatari, which translates to 100 stories, where a group of people will get together and they'll light 100 candles and they'll take turns telling spooky stories. And after each one, they'll blow a candle out. And the way it goes is each candle you blow out, I think it's supposed to be like the walls between the real world and the spirit world get thinner. So the stories start getting spookier, spooky stuff starts happening. And then by the last story, you have a single candle, everything's real dark, and then you blow it out and everyone just screams and freaks out. But we don't have 100 stories to tell. We have maybe 11, so it's going to be more like a Juichi 11 story thing. But yeah, that's what we're going for here. Do you have something? Do you have a ghost story for us, Mary?
Let me think. I did think of, I'm not sure if I can give you this story because it's not really a story. It's something that I found a comic that shook me so much that it stuck with me, which I loved. Like, those are the best for me. Something that you like kind of sometimes maybe have a dream about at night. It's super unsettling. And it's the mythical creature called Kelpie. Have you guys ever heard of Kelpie?
Feel like I have?
Kelpie,
No, sure.
I'm not.
it's a mythical creature from that was kind of like invented. The origin was from Scotland, and it's based on horse. I will send you guys the link. I will encourage all people to watch this comic and let them be haunted by it the way I was. The gist of the comic, I don't want to give it away, but visuals I think is what really shook me about this. But there are some kids playing, so the story goes, they find this absolutely beautiful, pristine horse by this gorgeous bank, this pond, and it's like sunset, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And it's just sitting there, and it's kind of luring them, to him because he's gorgeous, and they're petting him and playing with him. And then one of the kids gets on top to ride the horse. And right as they do this, they start realizing that their skin is attaching to the horse's skin. Immediately, it's starting to freak them out. Something's wrong. The horse starts to change. The skin becomes more like a sea creature, maybe more like a seal's skin on a horse. The face becomes elongated and looks more like a skeleton of a horse. You can see the teeth of the horse, which is so creepy. And then the tail is like this long, gross sea creature tail, and it starts crawling towards the water with the kid on top of it, and the other kid is like, his hand is stuck in the horse's side, he can't get out, and the horse is like making all these gross noises, and he's crawling towards the water, and he goes in the water with the kid stuck on it. So unfortunately, the kid who's riding on him, he is like 100%, like his entire body is connected to this horse. There's nothing he can do. But the other kid, the only thing that's connected is his hand. So he takes out his pocket knife and he starts sawing at his hand. And he saws through his wrist underwater, and he cuts his hand off, and he watches his friend get dragged down to the depths of the water below, and he gets on the bank, and he survives. And obviously nobody believes him because this is a ridiculous concept to happen. Your friend probably just drowned and you just don't want to believe it. But the Kelpie is a mythical creature that's meant to show children that not everything is what it appears to be. And the idea is that children are lured to jump on the horse and ride him and play. But then the horse is not a horse, it's a Kelpie. And the Kelpie makes you sick to him, takes you underwater, drowns you, and then releases you and eats you. It is so disgusting that this is something somebody created. Horrifying. We'll put the links so you guys can see this comic, but it'll shake you to your core. Kelpies are gross.
Rudy.
Alright, so the ghost story that I'm going to be reading today is The Drain Lady from the Something Awful Horror Archives. The author is unknown, so if you are the true, legit author of The Drain Lady, go ahead and send us an email and we'll give you the proper attribution for the ghost story. My father was a military man, retired back in '95 from the Navy after 20 years of proud service to our country. Before that, we moved often, every 3 to 4 years or thereabouts. We'd pack up and get shipped somewhere new. Early 1989, a wonderful opportunity arose and my dad took it. A 16-hour flight later, and we were stationed at NAS Signola, Sicily. I guess I was about 10 or 11 at the time. Those years were blurred save for those pinpricks of memories that still haunt me, that still plague my dreams from time to time. Our first home, there was an apartment in a complex called Bella Vista, far from the naval base. There was a waiting list to move into base housing that generally ran for about 1.5 years wait. Until your time to move, you had to live amongst the locals wherever you could. Bella Vista was a beautiful place. We lived on the upper floor of the complex and we had a wonderful view of the countryside off our back balcony. At night, one could look up at the night sky and see a thin trail of fiery red lava slowly ebbing from the still active Mount Etna. And in the morning, everything left out in the open was often found to be blanketed ever so slightly in volcanic ash, almost like a slight dusting of snow. But naturally, as perfectly nice as Bella Vista was, it wasn't meant for us for long. The landlord's daughter was pregnant, engaged, and homeless. Guess who got the boot? So we moved with the landlord's assistance into another home, Mana S. Anastasia, a little cobblestone street town near Catania and much closer to the Navy base. The day we drove up to the new place, I felt ill. Of course, nothing was thought of this at the time, but I'd swear in retrospect I was being told something. The place was a 3-story house with an apartment on each floor. I really don't remember the neighbors, but both were similarly Navy families, and I can imagine I pissed them off a lot with a lot of screaming. Dad unlocked the door and proceeded into the small entryway. The cobblestone street gave way to a marbled floor entrance and a matching set of marble stairs up to the second floor, which was our new home. The place was stunningly beautiful. Marble floors, glass French doors into the living room area, balconies attached to nearly every room save for the one that was mine. Clawfoot, bathtub, bidet, all the modern conveniences expected of a home in Europe. I walked into the room thinking that was going to be mine. Small, simple, square, and quite cold. To the left at the end of the hall was a door covered with a persiana, basically a form of window blinds that made from heavy horizontal flaps that was operated via a cloth strap attached to the wall. I pulled it up to see that the door was mostly glass and beyond it was a very small room, lined with brick along with floor and walls. I opened the door and stepped into the room and looked up to discover the room extended all the way through the 3rd floor and up into the hole in the roof. There was no covering on the hole either. It went straight into the open air. Shaft allowed a fair amount of light to shine into the only room in the house without a window in it, which I thought was pretty damn cool initially. The chill seemed to come from the room despite the glaring sun nearly directly overhead. It was then I heard the first whispers, like if you could take a wire brush and softly rub the stiff bristles against your jeans. At the time I attributed it to echoes of the brick, but I couldn't help but feel weird about it. It wasn't coming from any discernible direction or source, but it surrounded me like a blanket, as if something could be tangible and touchable. It pressed in gently on my ears like pressure on an aircraft ascending or descending. I turned to leave and I noticed a glinting drain in the middle of the floor. It was obviously for rainwater to drain away, but my nausea increased when I saw it. My stomach gnawed at itself as I ran out of there, and I swear I saw the drain cover jiggle a bit on the way out. I lowered the persiana quickly and rejoined my family in the living room, shaking and sick as a dog. Now granted, a little brick room was far from the norm for paranormal, ghostly stuff. But try telling that to whatever was in there. Christ. For weeks and weeks, I'd get up the nerve to open up the persiana in broad daylight and risk a peek, only to stumble back from the door sick as all hell and my stomach trebling. I tried telling my parents, of course, but an 11-year-old's ramblings about a scary brick room generally get chalked up to too many Freddy and Jason movies. The whisperings rarely stopped at night. They were persistent from the time I lay down until I finally forced myself into slumber. Often I'd wake up in the middle of the night to silence, and then the whisperings would start up again, as if waiting to make sure I was awake. There was never any real words to the whispering, just a hollowed that seemed to repeat, but never the same cadence. There was no emotion behind it either that I can remember. It wasn't angry, it wasn't sad nor happy, just there, always fucking there. One night after about 2 months of this, I was awoken by a particularly horrifying dream, and I seemed to start having those dreams after we moved in. I never had constant nightmares prior, but I awoke from the dream with the feeling that something was terribly, terribly wrong. Immediately my eyes darted to the floor and I saw the persiana was up. Now European goons with experience back me up. Persianas are about the noisiest damn things to have in a house. They're generally metal slats hooked in the metal hooks that grind and squeak loudly in protest as they're pulled up. There was no way in hell that a persiana which was always closed could have opened without waking up everyone in the house. But sure enough, it was open about 3/4 of the way up to the damn door. A bit of moonlight reflected off the bricks in the shaft, and into my room there was a dull bluish tone. I lay there for hours, paralyzed in my bed, but unable to look away from the door, lest there be something there when I looked back. Eventually I just conked out. The next morning crept up finally, and I was freed from my paralysis. I ran to the door, missed a wave of nausea, and pulled the persiana shut as fast as I could. There was a light dusting of volcanic ashes on the brick floor, and I swore I could make out the footprints or scuffing in it. Mom, still asleep at the time, yelled at me across the hall after hearing the noise, but I couldn't care less. Over the course of the next 3 months, it was the same routine. The whisperings never faltered. The persiana would be found at least 2 to 3 times a week open, and the blackness of the room would stare out at me in bed. And one night it was different. I still have nightmares of this incident, and it makes me cringe and want to curl up in a ball still whenever I conjure it up. I'd awoken again in the midst of a terrible nightmare, but sure enough, the persiana was up, but this time it was all the way up. The moonlight was barely filtering in that night, but I swear I could make out something there in the room. It felt like it was just at the right angle for me to see whatever it was, and if it were to move in the slightest bit, I'd lose sight of it. It was a small sphere that shimmered like a soap bubble does, but it was so faint I could barely make it out. I watched it as it hovered there for the longest time. It began to shrink like some TVs used to do when you turned them off, shrink into a tiny dot of light. But before it winked out, it flashed and expanded. It did so at an alarmingly fast rate and solidified into the form of a woman. She looked to be in her early to mid-30s, dark curly hair, definitely a local Sicilian. And when she became whole and a solid image, she began shrieking and pounding on the glass doors with both fists. Her head swiveled wrong on her neck, shaking back and forth like if you put a tea kettle on a stick and shook the stick around. Her eyes were completely black and full of anger and hatred. The skin around her mouth flapped loosely, giving me glimpses of her teeth and tongue, and hair was tossing around violently. Some sort of liquid oozed in small spurts from the corner of her mouth, and flecks of whatever it was flew as she shrieked. Her screaming was horrific and nonsensical, and all I could do was scream back. My dad charged into the room in my head, thinking I was having a nightmare. She shrank back from the door. She slithered down the drain somehow. She twisted and distorted, and I swear I could hear her bones splintering and cracking as she would wind herself down into it. It was awful. To this day, my dad says he never heard anyone scream so inhumanly before. I often ask him jokingly if he meant me or her.
Okay. So this is from the Something Awful Ghost Story thread. It's a pretty old one. It's on a site that compiled these called nothotbutspicy.com, and the author is unattributed. It says unknown author. And this one's called Rotten Meat. Mm-hmm. The following events occurred during a 2-week vacation stay at a rented house in Cape Cod. I wasn't particularly old. I believe I was 9 and my sister was 4. My mother, however, was in her 30s, so I can't chalk up her experiences to an overactive imagination. For the first few days, things were fine. We learned the layout pretty quickly. There was a basement with a washer, dryer, and a TV in a separate room. On the main floor was the kitchen, proper living room, and bathroom. And on the second floor were the bedrooms, 3 in total. One day it was particularly stormy, so there would be no trips to the beach or nature walks. My parents, really eager for as much private time as they could get, sent my sister down to the basement to watch what little TV we would receive. My sister and I managed to get a decent version of PBS, which meant that the static wasn't too bad at all. Antennae only at this place. Continued to watch, I absentmindedly playing my Game Boy, and my sister more enthralled by some show. And then it all stopped. My Game Boy shut off, the light bulb popped. The TV did not go off. Instead, it showed nothing but static. And then the smell. From the other room, the one with the washer and dryer, there's a smell that's not even partially described by the word rank. Imagine a bag of rotting meat kept in the summer sun for days at end, and you can begin to imagine it. "Let's go, please," my sister whimpered. I took her hand and we walked back up. My parents were not terribly pleased. They listened to our story, sighing as we spoke. Finally, Mom smiled and said, "All right, if I go down and check and it's all okay, will we go back down?" We agreed, knowing if anyone could make it all better, she could. She disappeared into the black basement, flashlight in hand, replacement light bulb box held in the other. We expected her to return quickly. She didn't. After 10 minutes, that stretched into eternity, she finally came back up. "Okay, kid, you can stay up here. In fact, I don't want you going down there again." We didn't know what that meant, but accepted it gladly. Mom never went down in the room either. She insisted on doing laundry at the laundromat in town. I didn't ask her what happened for years. Another night, I was woken by a horrid scream from my sister's room. My dad burst from his room and slammed her door open, picked her up, and took her downstairs. It took over an hour to calm her down, and a couple s'mores too, but she finally agreed to tell us what was wrong. She had seen the entire room soaked in blood, top to bottom, handprints in blood, streaks, dripping splatters. We wrote it off as a dream, and she refused to go back up for the rest of the night. Mom took a look in the room, and I caught her whispering to Dad, "That smell is there." Finally, my encounter with whatever it was. My parents had taken my sister into town, planning on doing some shopping with her. I voiced my dismay, and they said I could stay at the rented home if I wished. I whiled away some time watching Disney videos, and eventually started to read a book. Eventually I had enough reading, and I put the book down. My eyes shot open in surprise. Near the ceiling, slowly circling around as if it were some ethereal shark, cruised an orb, fire red, yet translucent. I didn't move as I watched it, hoping not to scare it away. Part of me was fascinated by it, as if it were as ordinary as a bird on the porch. Then I heard the car door slam. My parents had arrived, and the orb, a trailing tail following, raced toward the wall, vanishing. "Hi," called Dad as he walked in, cooler in hand. "Anything on TV?" As for what happened to my mom in the basement, when I finally did ask her years and years later, she suddenly became very still, and spoke quietly. She had intended to simply change the bulb downstairs, figuring the bulb had simply died and I had turned off my Game Boy in surprise, and that one of us had nudged the antenna out of clear reception, so she had taken the old bulb out and put a new one in. It didn't work. She tried another one. It also didn't work. As she tried the remaining 2 bulbs, she began to smell something too, but this time it had an oily stench to it. She figured that one of the machines in the washing room had broken, or perhaps a breaker went off or something. She put down the bulbs and walked into the room. She shone her flashlights on the machines. Nothing. Then she looked at the other end of the room, only to see it. It was a short man, crouched over, a piece of maggot-covered meat held in his hand. It looked at my mom, smiled with sharp teeth and black eyes, and whispered, "Hello." Then it sank into the floor. Mom left in a goddamn hurry after that. That's the end of the story. Again, that is from nothotbutspicy.com, a compilation of Something Awful ghost stories over the last bunch of years. If you wrote this story, and you're somehow listening to this, let me know, and I'll give you attribution in the next episode. Okay, that's that.
Creepy.
Yeah, the orb. I questioned the orb. Everything else was good.
Yeah, that's a story that's... A lot of these stories have freaked me out. I can't read that thread at night anymore.
That's what happens when you're by yourself looking on the internet.
Yeah.
You can't sleep. That's what happens.
That thread's robbed me of some night to sleep.
I think there's like a subreddit that I like called it's called like scary shorts or horror shorts or something like that. And I've like spent too long on there just like scaring myself. I love it. It's a good evening.
Yeah. But we're gonna continue telling stories at the end of every episode here. So if nothing else, look forward to that, I guess.
Definitely.
But hopefully look forward to the rest too, because the rest is good stuff. But with that, Mary, do you have anything you want to plug or promote or anything?
Oh, not really. I am happy you guys had me on, and I would like to thank you for inviting me on here, and anyone who's listening, thanks for putting up with my sick voice. I am kind of getting over a cold, so I sound a little like that congested kid voice, like where you plug your nose. But I am surviving, and I feel good, and I'm glad that I got to do this. It's always good to talk about super spooky horror stories in October. I love getting into the season, so thank you guys for having me. If you guys like listening to me or any of my work, or you've never even heard of me, you can find me on Twitter at Mary Kish, MERRYKISH. I update with my thoughts and feelings about all sorts of crap and videos and features that I make about video games on Gamespot. So you guys can follow me there.
Yeah, go check her out on GameSpot. She did a real good one-sitting playthrough of Until Dawn. And that's actually how I learned that you liked horror films. So that's why I asked you to join us.
Sweet. That was fun. That was a really good sitting. That was 6 hours from
something like that,
9 p.m. until 4 in the morning.
I think I stayed with you for 4 of those hours, and then I just watched it on archives after I fell asleep at my desk.
That was a long one. It was good, though. I like doing that stuff, so I'll do it again when there's more horror games coming out. There's always some good horror thing coming out, so I'll keep trying to do that. And I'll definitely be playing. I think I'll do a really long stream of Tomb Raider when it comes out, too, just because I think that game's sweet. So
here's some questions I forgot to ask you at the beginning. 2 questions.
Yeah.
1, what's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, that is a good question. I don't think this counts as horror. I was gonna say Slither, but I think that's technically comedy.
Slither's kind of horror.
Yeah, Slither's good. Slither's great.
It's...
Yeah, that's a good choice.
It has some gross-ass body horror
It's a tough genre because, it's called comedy horror. Sci-fi is technically what it is. I'm gonna plug this for anyone who's... I assume most people have heard of it and watched it. It's got Nathan Fillion in it. It's written and directed by James Gunn. It's got a real nice group of hotshot actors, directors, writers. It's awesome. It's got it all, right? It's got creepy science, aliens from another world. It's got zombies for some reason. It's got really grotesque, disgusting monsters. It's got uncomfortable bathroom scene. It's so good. It's just everything that you want in a movie. Plus it's funny as hell. So, it's not a typical answer because I do like being scared. And if you want one where I'm terrified, I would say a different one. But this one is non-stop entertainment. And I just feel I could...
Yes, Slither's
great.
It's
so good. It's just so good. I just think you could recommend it to anyone, and they would be yeah, that was fun. So, that's probably not a very normal answer, but yeah, that's a great movie.
It's good, though.
It's a good choice, yeah. Slither's awesome.
And second question, favorite horror game?
Oh! Let me think. I would say the one that scared me the most, and this is going to make you guys sad, but I think the one that I was scared the most was PT. That scared the shit out of me. Was the...
Well, Rudy hasn't seen PT yet, as far as I know. Have you seen
I
any
have
of
not. No, I have not.
Okay.
Just a little YouTube clips of it, and I was at the San Francisco Q&A with Guillermo del Toro, where he announced that they weren't going through with it, and there was just a huge, just sad groan in the audience. Everyone was so bummed about it.
Did you hear about what came out recently about that?
No, what happened?
They were working with fucking Junji Ito on it.
Yes, it's so sad. It's heartbreaking. Junji Ito is like the ultimate horror master. He makes comics that will just...
He's the best.
Like, gut-wrench you. They will make you pee your pants in the middle of work. They're so scary. And they had everything going for them. I'm telling you, PT just did everything right for me. I was completely scared when I played it. I played it online, same as Until Dawn. So if you want, you can actually watch my replay of me being scared shitless playing it, and it's really, really terrifying. I have to admit, it's probably one of the scariest things I've ever played.
PT's pretty fucking scary.
I mean, you can. There's all sorts of good scary games.
Mhm.
Silent Hill, Silent Hill 2. Those are just terrifying games to play. But there was something about PT that I think just broke me, and I think that I would have to be mine, even though there's other really good scary games that I could give honorable mention to.
Okay, well, PT is definitely a good answer. It's pretty fucking scary for what little there is of it.
Yeah, there's not a lot. But, I mean, as you guys have probably noticed, I'm a real big fan of short and sweet, right? Short and scary is, is perfect for me. I don't like to be overdone. I don't need it. I don't need a long thing to be scared. If you can scare me in 30 seconds, that's amazing. I totally failed. I also want to plug Amnesia. That's probably the scariest game I've ever played. Holy shit. Plug this, splice this in. Amnesia's so good.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for joining us, for even entertaining the idea of joining us.
Thank you, Mary.
Thanks for having me. It's fun. I like it. I wish we did more stuff like this. I like scary stuff, and it's good to talk about it with other people who are as into it, if not more so. You guys know a lot about horror stuff, so this is rad.
So yeah, thanks. If you ever want to join us again...
Definitely.
Door is always open.
The game Kiwi.
Yeah, just say, hey guys, I want to talk about some horror stuff. Let's do that.
If I ever see something that scares the crap out of me, ping you.
Go for it.
All right, sweet.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's the end of the episode. Next week, we're going to be watching some found footage. We're going to be watching a double feature of Blair Witch Project and Curse of the Blair Witch,
Ooh.
Ghost Watch, Grave Encounters, Noroi, As Above, So Below, The Bay, and the WNUF Halloween special. So look forward to those. We have a guest tentatively lined up. Hopefully we'll get him to talk to us about those. But yeah, so I've been Mike.
It's been Rudy.
Mary!
And this has been episode 1 of Horror Kiwi. Keep it spooky, everyone.
Happy Halloween!
Woo!
Woo!